So hello everyone again. Today again we will be starting another week of videos. I just kept this video. This is going to be your video for Sunday. So this video particularly only for solving the homework of lesson 3, so that if you have any more doubts regarding this lesson, which lesson 3, so that it will be cleared out. So let's go slowly. We are not in a hurry to rush and finish off everything, right? So because the next two lessons are dependent on these lesson 1, 2 and 3. Unless you understand lesson 1, 2, 3, you cannot do lesson 4 and 5, because that's going to be another kind of question, but dependent on these three lessons. Okay, so I just thought I will keep this video only for discussing these answers, so that if any doubt is there, you can clear. It will get cleared, and if there is more doubts other than this also, then again you will have to message me and ask me directly. Okay, so now these are the questions which were in your book. That's going to be okay. So this is the related page for you. Here, question number 1 and 2, don't get confused by what they have given you. It's the similar thing they have given. They have what we were doing, they have done, but just that they have given you instructions, that's all. So they have told to subtract the second equation. Now leave everything out and you just look at the question itself. We have 2x minus 3y equals 14 and 2x plus y equals negative 10. Okay, which means we need to have any one of the variables similar to cancel, as well as one has to be positive and one has to be negative. So what we are going to do is we will multiply. Here we have both of them 2x, but we cannot cancel them because both of them are positive. So we have to change any one of them to negative. So that's what they have done here, in fact. So let's rewrite the equations again. So that's going to be 2x minus 3y equals 14. Okay, now here if you multiply the whole equation with a negative sign, that's going to be negative 2x. Okay, that's going to give you a negative 2x. Then minus into plus will become again minus y equals a negative into negative will become positive, so that's going to be a positive 10. Now don't mind about me not writing these things in place, because it's very difficult for me to do so. That's why I did not write them under each other as I'm typing, and I'm not even doing it in any other way. Okay, so this is what it's going to be: negative 2x negative y equals 10. So now you have to cancel this too, right? Now I also cannot draw, I don't have the access to draw line, so I'm just showing you cancel these two out. Fine. Now when you cancel these two out, you will have negative 3 and negative y, which means here there is an invisible 1 always, right? So negative 3 negative 1 is going to give you how much? That's going to give you negative 4y equals 14, and 10 is going to give you 24. 14 plus 10 is going to give you 24. So the resulting one will be y is equal to negative 6. Fine. So y is going to be, how you got negative 6? 24 divided by 4 is going to give you negative 6. I know this question will come, how teacher? Yes, this is how we got negative 6. So 24 divided by 4 will give you negative 6. I'm not showing you all the steps here, I'm just showing you the exact answers. Now that we got y is equal to 6, let's use that in the other equation to find out the answer for x. So I will use the first equation. So the first equation is 2x minus 3y equals 14. So in place of x, y, I will replace the y with negative 6. So that's going to be 3 multiplied by negative 6 is equal to 14. So 2x, we don't know, minus, is it going to be minus? Negative 3 into negative 6 is going to give you a positive 18 equals 14. So this is going to be, I'll just do it beside because there is no enough space. So 2x is going to be equal to 14 minus 18. 14 minus 18, which is going to be 2x is going to be equal to how much? Negative 4. Right? 14 minus 18 will give you a negative 4. Okay, now x is going to be how much? X is going to be negative 4 divided by 2, which is going to give you x is equal to negative 2. So the value of x is going to be negative 2. So in the solution, you're going to write x is 2 and y is negative 6. So these are going to be your answers, negative 2 and negative 6. So this is what they have asked you to do, as I explained you in the previous video. And the only thing which can make you understand more is practice and practice. As there was a message also on Edmodo from a student, right? Practice. That's the only key to understand math. I can only guide you. I can show you the way. Okay, now moving to question number 2. We have 3x plus y equals 17, 4x plus 2y equals 20. Now the problem here is nothing is common, because this is 3x, 4x, y, 2y, 7. Anyways, we are not concerned about that. So here nothing is common, so we have to make any one into common. I told you always think smart. Multiply the one which has the coefficient of 1. So here y is having coefficient of 1, so I will multiply the whole equation with negative 2. Why negative 2? Now if I just multiply this with 2, that's going to give me a positive 2y. If I multiply that with a negative 1, that's going to give me a negative 2y. So that's why multiply, that's what they said. Yes, you multiply the first equation by negative 2. So let's multiply the first equation with negative 2 here. So what's that going to give you if you multiply with 2? Negative 2 multiplied by 3 is going to give you negative 6x, right? Then again, negative into positive y, that's going to give you negative 1y, which is of course. So the negative 2 multiplied by 17 is going to give you negative 34. Now here, sorry, here I have to write 2. Why did I write 1? Okay, 2. So negative 2y, because negative 2 into 1 is going to give you negative 2y equals 34. Now what are you going to cancel? Let me write this in a proper way, so that if you have not written in a proper way, it's okay, it doesn't matter. But I'm writing in a proper way so that it will be clear for me to show you what you have to do. That's all. So this is going to be 4x plus 2y equals 20. So this is the equation we are going to deal with now. Okay, so what are you going to cancel? You will cancel or eliminate this plus 2y minus 2y. Now you girls, please do it. I cannot do it, so that's why I'm just showing you with the cursor what to do. Just cross that out. If you cross that out, what are you left with? Minus 6 plus 4. How much is minus 6 plus 4? That's going to give you a minus 2x, right? Equals how much? Minus 34 plus 20 is going to give you minus 14. Okay, so if you remove, like x is going to be minus 14 divided by negative 2, the negatives will go off because both of them have negative sign. So x is going to be equal to 7. How 7? 14 divided by 2 is 7. Don't ask me again how. It's 14 divided by 2 is 7. So x is 7. You can choose any one equation, whichever from the original one, not the one which you change. You can choose any one. I will choose equation number 2. So that's 4x plus 2y equals 20. Okay, so 4, the value of x is 7. So 4 sevens are 28 plus 2y equals 20. You can do this mentally as well. That's going to be 2y equals 20 minus 28, because 4 sevens are 28. So when you move to the other side, that will become 20 minus 28. So what's the next step? That's going to be 2y equals negative 8. It's going to be negative 8. So y is going to be equal to negative 8 divided by 2, which is going to give you a negative 4. So y is going to be negative 4. Again, don't ask me how. Y is going to be negative 8 over 2, which is going to give you, means divided by 2, which is going to give you a negative 4. So your solution has to be 7. Always write the value of 7. Don't get confused in that. And the next one is going to be negative 4. So your answer has to be 7 and negative 4. So this is how you need to solve. Okay, so moving on to question number 3. Again, here you don't need to do anything. Okay, all what you need to be doing is just cancel x and x because it's positive x, this is negative x, so cancel them. Here you will be having 5y, so once you cancel that, you will be having here 3 plus 2 is 5y equals negative 7, negative 8 is going to give you a negative 15. You know the algebraic rules by now, so y is going to be equal to negative 3. Negative 15 divided by 5 is going to give you a negative 3. Now that you have negative 3 as y, you can choose any one equation and solve that. So let's solve and find out what is it for x. X. So x plus 3, I'm choosing equation number 1. So x plus 3 multiplied by negative 3, in place of y, I will write negative 3 equals how much? Negative 7. So that's going to be x is equal to, I'm really doing it very directly without showing all the steps, but of course you know you have to show the steps. So negative 3, 3 into negative 3, that I'm talking about this part here, that will give you a negative 9. So negative 9, when it moves to the other side, that becomes a positive 9. X is going to be equal to 2, because negative 7 plus 9 will give you 2. So how are you going to write the answer now? Of course, in the ordered pair. So 2 and the comma and 3. So this is going to be your answer, 2 and negative 3. Okay, I hope you understood this part. It's easy, only that I have given you the directions very directly rather than following all the steps, because we are not in a stage where we have to keep on telling you do the steps, but unless you do the steps, you will not get the correct answers. Okay, now moving on to question number 4. Again, just look at the similar terms. We have 3x, 2x, which are not similar, but we have plus y, negative y, so you will cancel plus y and negative y. You will be left with 3 plus 2, that's going to give you 5x, which is equal to negative 26, negative 14 is going to give you negative 44. Is it? No, 45. Because 26 plus 19 will give you 45. Okay, which means x is going to be equal to negative 9, because 45 divided by 5 is going to give you 9. Negative 40, negative 9, because 45 has a negative sign. Okay, now you can choose any one equation. Let me choose equation number 2, because that's what looks easy. Negative 9, up to you. You can choose any one. Minus y equals negative 19. Anyways, it's all negative, so there's nothing, no. Okay, so it's going to be 18. That's going to be negative 18. Okay, I will directly go to y. I think that's better. Negative y is going to be equal to negative 19 plus 18. Y plus 18, because 2 multiply negative 9 is negative 18. So negative 18, when it moves to the other side, that will become positive 18, right? So y is going to be equal to, then negative y. Negative y is going to be equal to, how much is 19 plus 18? That's going to give you, how much? Negative 1, right? Because 19 minus, if it 1 is negative, 1 is positive, you will subtract and then you will get the answer. So here I will cancel out both the minus signs. So your answer is going to be negative 9 and 1. So this is going to be your answer, negative 9 and 1. Okay, moving on to question number 5. Let's see whether we have any common terms. We have x2, x3, 4. We have no common terms. So what are you going to do here? We have to make the one with the coefficient of 1 into an equal one. So of course we have only this as the coefficient of 1. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing with a negative 2. Why negative 2? Because negative 2 will give me some negative 2x, which I can cancel. If you just multiply with 2, you will not be able to cancel it, because both of them will be positive, and you know we need to have positive and negative. Okay, so I will multiply the whole thing in negative 2, so I'll be having negative 2x and minus 3y equals, not 3y, it's going to be 2 multiplied by 3 is going to give you 6y equals 2 multiplied by 14 is going to give you 28. Why positive 28? Because negative 2 multiplied by negative 14 is 28. positive 28. 2 4, yeah. Okay, so the next equation is 2x, so you can cancel the next is 2x minus 4y equals 32. Okay, now you to solve, you will cancel the negative 2x and 2x, so you'll be left with negative 6, negative 4 will give you negative 10y. Where did I write over there? Okay, negative 10y equals 28 plus 32 will give you 60. So which means y is equal to how much? Negative 6. Have you got this answer, negative 6? Okay, now moving on to the next part. Choose any one equation. I will choose the second equation or the first one, which is easy. I think the first one is easy. So I will choose the first equation. X, I don't know. Okay, next one is plus 3 multiplied by negative 6, because y was negative 6 in the first step, equals negative 14. The next step is going to be x is equal to negative 3 multiplied by negative 6 will give you negative 18. So when it moves to the other side, that will become a positive 18, which means plus 18. So x is going to be equal to, how much is negative 14 plus 18? That's going to give you 4. 18 minus 14 is 4. So we leave sign is plus with the bigger number. We choose the one with the bigger number. So your answer needs to be in the brackets in the coordinate form. So x was 4 and y was negative 6. I hope you have got these answers. Okay, now moving on to question number 6. Now question number 6 is the same as question number 5. There is nothing common here. You need to change any one of them into common. So choose the one with the coefficient of 1. So that's this. I will multiply this with which number? I will multiply it with 3. Why will I just multiply it with 3? Because it's already negative. So even if I multiply 3 with this, I will get a negative 3y. If I multiply this with a negative 3, then that will become positive 3. Negative 3 multiplied by negative 1 will give you a positive 3. So I will just only multiply this with 3. I have to be careful enough when you're choosing the numbers. So that's going to give me 12x minus 3y equals 15, because negative 15, because 3 into negative 5 is negative 15. Okay, so the next one is negative 2x plus 3y plus, it is plus 3y equals 10. Okay, so as you can see, you will cancel out negative 3y and positive 3y. So you will be left with 12 minus 2 is going to give you 10x. Okay, so 10x equals negative 15 plus 10 is going to give you a negative 5. So x is going to be equal to, here it's a different kind of a question. X is going to be equal to, x is going to be equal to negative 5 over 10, which means it's going to be a negative half or negative 0.5. Now I cannot type fractions here. If you keep it in fractions, it's going to be negative half, because negative 5 over 10 will give you negative 1 over 2. Or you can keep it as x is equal to negative 0.5 in decimals or in fractions, up to you. So I will choose the first equation as 4 multiplied by negative 0.5. What did I do? Multiplied by negative 0.5 minus y equals negative 5, which means 4 multiplied by negative 0.5 is like 2. 4 multiplied by 5, 0.5 is going to give you 2. So negative y, the next step is going to be negative y is going to be equal to negative 5 plus 2, because when the, negative 2 comes to that side, it becomes positive. Wait, I'm doing it right. Okay, so your y is going to be equal to, negative y is going to be equal to negative 3, because 5 negative 5 plus 2 is 3. So the minus will get cancelled. So both the minus will get cancelled. You will have the value of y is equal to 3. You have that's why I keep on saying you have to be very careful with these signs, because they just make you confused in every place. Okay, so y is going to be equal to 3. So you are going to write your answer as negative 0.5, 0.5, and 3. So this is going to be your answer. Either you, if you leave it as half also, it's okay. But I feel if you change it to decimal, it's going to be more easier. Up to you. I mean, I'm not telling both this is right, this is wrong. Both are right. Either you write negative half is also right. Negative 0.5 is also right. Okay, quickly moving on to question number 7. Here we have again the same kind of questions. So I'm not keeping on repeating. I will multiply this with negative 3. Why? Because I need a positive number. Up it is negative 3x, so this has to be positive 3. Only if I multiply with negative 3, that will become positive. So what are the equations we are going to get now? We are going to get y is equal to, y minus 3x equals 11. And once you multiply with negative 3, that's going to give you negative 6y. Right? Let me just... Okay, negative 6y. What's wrong? Okay, that's no troubling me. Okay, so I just got rid of that thing. So that's going to be y minus 3x is equal to 11. And the next part, it's going to be negative 6y, because negative 3 into 2 is going to give you a negative 6y. Plus 3x, because negative 3 into x will give you plus 3x equals negative 6. So this is how your equation will change once you multiply the equation with 3. 3 2s are 6, but negative 3 is negative 6. So here it's 1. So negative 3 multiplied by negative 1 is going to give you a positive 3x. Negative 3 multiplied by 2 is going to give you negative 6. So here you will cancel negative 3 and positive 3. So once you cancel, what are you left with? 1 minus 6. How much is 1 minus 6 going to give you? 1 minus 6 is going to give you minus 5y. Here there's nothing, means it's 1. You have to consider it as 1. So 11 minus 6 is going to give you 5. So which means y is going to be equal to how much? Negative 1. 5 divided by 5 is going to give you a negative 1. Okay, now I will choose equation 1 or 2. I'll choose equation 2. So that's going to be 2 multiplied by negative 1 minus x equals 2. The next step is 2x, negative x is going to be okay, again, okay, negative x is going to be equal to 2 plus 2, right? Because 2 multiplied by negative 1 is going to give you negative 2. So 2 plus 2, when it moves to the other side, that becomes 2 plus 2. So x is going to be equal to negative 4. You know 2 plus 2 is 4, because the x is having the negative sign, we give it to the number. So that's going to be x is equal to 4, negative 4. Okay, now when you are writing your answer, of course you have to use the brackets. So the value of x is going to be negative 4 and the value of y is going to be negative 1. So these are your answers, negative 4 and negative 1 is the answer for your system. Okay, the next one, last question, that's question number 8. Negative 10x 5x plus y plus 3y. As usual, again, there is no similar or common term. Okay, so question number 8, of course, we will multiply the upper one, the first one, because that has a coefficient of 1. So I will multiply that with a negative 3. So let me quickly write down the equation, the answer. If you multiply by negative 3, that's going to be 30x minus 3y equals 0. Okay, the next one is 5x plus 3y equals negative 7. So these are your two equations. What are you going to do? You will cancel negative 3y and positive 3y, and the remaining is 30 plus 5 is 35x, which is going to be equal to 0 minus 7 is going to give you a negative 7 again. right? So x is going to be equal to negative, and now again this is in the form of a fraction. X is going to be equal to negative 7 over 35. Negative 7 over 35, if you simplify, you will get it as negative 1 over 5. Now I cannot write it as a fraction, so I wrote it in this way. X is going to be equal to negative 1 over 5. This is going to be the value of x. It's going to be negative 7 over 35. You simplify them with 7. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, 35 divided by 7 is 5. So that's going to give you the value of x as negative 1 over 5. Now keeping this value, let me choose the equation which is easy for me. I think equation 2 will be easy in this case to solve. Or if you feel 1 is easy, do go ahead and take it. So 5 multiplied by negative 1 over 5, okay, plus 3y equals negative 7. Now 5 multiplied by negative 1 over 5 is going to give you how much? The same rule you have to follow, like we did I think in last week Wednesday's video. I explained you how to multiply fractions. It's the same thing you're going to do here. 5 multiplied by negative 1 over 5. How much did you all get? 5 multiplied by negative 1 over 5 is like 5 over 1, okay, multiplied by 1 over 5. So that's going to give you 5 over 5, which is going to give you a negative 1. So 5 multiplied by negative 1 over 5 is negative 1 plus 3y equals negative 7. So 3y is going to be equal to negative 7 plus 1. Okay, so that's going to be negative 7 plus 1 is going to give you negative 6. So y is going to be equal to negative 6 divided by 3. So your answer has to be negative y is equal to negative 2. Just follow the steps which I'm telling you. You'll never go wrong. Your answers will always be right. Only here, little bit, of course, math is not the same everywhere. Little bit they will confuse you, but if you know what to do, you will get the answers easily. So your answers are going to be, the value of x was negative 1 over 5, and y is negative 2. So I hope you girls have got all the 8 answers right. If you have got all the 8 answers right, really very well done to you all. But if you have not done, if you have done some small mistakes, it's fine too, but not silly mistakes. So until we meet in the next lesson, that's going to be a new lesson for you. So until we meet in the next video, take care of yourselves and stay safe.